Dr. Steinberg, and today I'm going to talk to you about headaches and migraines. And obviously, it's something I know about because the name of my practice is the Headache and Pain Center of South Florida, so I have a bit of an expertise in it. But before we do that, I want to tell you something about social distancing and all the protesting that's going on about it. I want to let you know what's going on from the medical perspective and why we're so determined not to let social distancing go unchecked and reverse. If you happen to get COVID-19 and you go on a ventilator, the chance of you dying is high. It's the same odds as if you play blackjack at Vegas. The house has a little bit of favoritism, right? The odds are in their favor. But this time, if you lose, you die. That's how bad the odds are. So when we're fighting for you personally may not have the disease, but you may pass the virus on to someone else. If they go on a ventilator, it's not a good battle inside. If you don't go on the ventilator, the odds of success and recovery is extremely high, which is great, but being on the ventilator is not. So if you are protesting, and you're allowed to protest, and you should protest about the right thing. You want testing. That's the key to unleashing and undoing social isolation. If you're a Trump fan, go to Trump and raise hell with him. If you're not, and you're a pro-Democrat, go to the House and raise hell with them. That's who you have to deal with. Because the governors, they're looking out for your best interest. So, listen, go fight for testing, both for the swab and for the immune response. You know, it's the same thing. If you're a farmer and you've got a plight and your crops are dying, you're not going to go reseeding while you got that plight going on. You want to figure out why your plants or your crop are dying and figure out which ones are sick, which ones will survive. Only then are you going to reseed. It's the same thing, except these are people's lives. So, and you know what? They have the availability for these tests. I'm going to be getting some soon. You know what? If they can test these NBA players and these NFL players every week, and they can get the testing, I'm sure that they can give the testing to you guys, to us. So if they can get it for them, they can get it for the congressman and the president, they can get it for us. And you know, if you want to protest, go to Ruth Chris's, because I'm sure they have enough money to buy all the swabs now. Okay? So that's my deal on this. So someone has to let you know why the medical community is fighting so hard to say, no, don't undo social isolation. Now let's talk about why you guys are listening to me, okay? As I said, I'm a headache and pain specialist. So what is a headache? It actually should be called head pain. The only time you really get a headache is a hangover, which is another whole topic. If you want to know my cure for hangovers, DM me. But anyway, so head pain can be due to multiple things. Obviously, migraine is one of the big factors. The other one is tension headaches. We call those cervicogenic headaches, meaning it comes from the neck and it's musculoskeletal. It could be sinus disease. You know, people are always concerned, do I have a brain tumor? You know, it can be related to medications. It can be a food allergy. I see a lot of people, you know, I tell them, get off coffee, get off gluten. And sure enough, it helps. So how do you figure out what it is? The one key thing that you have to know is when to see a doctor is if your headaches are different than what they typically are. We all get headaches. But remember, another important pearl, another important fact, there's no such thing as a normal headache. I hear that all the time. Oh, it's my typical headache. No. It's not your typical headache. But there's no such thing as a typical headache. But if it's just, muscle strain, you're on the computer too much, you overwork, yes, then you can do simple remedies at home. Do neck stretches, you can take some over-the-counter herbal topics, such as, you can do CBD, you can do horse liniment and just rub it on your neck, buy a TENS unit. But if it's different, or if it's so bad that it impacts on your daily activities or limits you from exercising, that's the time to see a professional. Whether you see a medical physician, chiropractor, acupuncturist, and that's when you need to get evaluated. But you need to be proactive in this. And how do you do that? By reading a diary, by creating a diary. When do your headaches occur? What are they associated with? Is it changing the weather? Is it changing your menstrual cycle? Is it with work? It can even be stress. Look, stress causes heart attacks, causes gastric reflux, it can cause headaches. So you have to be proactive and write down when you get it. In the beginning, you may be writing the whole book. But after about a month, you're going to see a pattern. And once you figure out that pattern, then you're going to know what to do with it. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to educate you, because an educated patient is my best patient. The more you know, the more you tell me, and the more I can help you. So that's what you need to do. Figure this out. Figure out what you can. I mean, it's okay to read Google, and try to figure things out, but I can tell you, any medical student will tell you, you start reading and you have every single disease. I got that, I got this, but I got that. So those are the problems. But when you get head pain, it's different than, say, shoulder pain, because there's so many nerves within the face. I mean, you can get dizzy, you can affect your hearing, you can affect, you get nauseous, you can get blurred vision. So that's why headaches are different than all other types of pain syndromes. And it's time intensive for me as well, because I have to differentiate it. Is it a sinus problem? Is it a neurological problem? Is it medication effect? What medicines are you taking? You have to know what medicines you're on, because some of the medicines can cause side effects, just like they can cause insomnia. So how do I differentiate this? So as I said, I take a history. The most common is being a migraine. What is the definition of a migraine? It's very simple. It's a throbbing, moderate to severe headache that impacts on your quality of life for about 3 to 4 hours and can last up to 2 days. It's also associated either with nausea and or vomiting, or light and noise sensitivity, meaning if anyone has a migraine, they'll tell you, leave the lights off. Be quiet. And I don't think they're so nice when they say it, because these migraines are disabling. Do you know that over 30 million people can have migraines? And every woman will have one bad migraine in their lifetime. And women tend to have it more than men, 3-to-1 ratio. And the worst ones that they have is during their menstrual cycle. When they have menses, it's typically the worst migraine. So if you have those 4 factors, that's a migraine. Now, some people have them once every few months during their cycle. There are people who have them, and they are disabling. According to the World Health Organization, it is one of the top 10 most disabling diseases in the world, let alone in the United States. Why? Because when you get a migraine, you can't function. You get a moderate migraine, you're slowing down, you're suffering a little bit, but migraineurs, people who have migraines, tend to just silence that. Why? They gotta work, they gotta take care of their family, they got a life. And it's usually not the pain that's gonna stop a migraineur. What's gonna stop them? It's that nauseous, it's the dizziness. I mean, it's not just oh wow, I'm on a boat ride, this is kind of interesting. No, this is dizzy, which way is up? And the nauseousness, it's brutal. It is very painful. And it's usually non-food based, so it's just dry heaves. And then the blinding light, I mean, it hurts. Example, my medical assistant has had it for years, and she's a trooper. She'll work through the pain, quote, give me 5-10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. But the lights stops her and call dead. So forgive that French. That's how they feel. They want to chop off their heads. So that's how you deal with migraines. And I'll get into a little bit more about how you deal with the migraines and what are the triggers. But the other thing that's very common is tension headaches, what we call tension headaches or cervicogenic headaches. And that usually comes from the neck. So as you can see from here, the neck muscles are here. It could be down here, right? Still in the neck. So let's say you have arthritis in the neck, you've been in a car accident, you have a slipped disc, herniated disc. These muscles come up like this. They come all the way up to here. And that's why people feel oh, it's behind my eyes. What, is it my head? Is it my brain? No, it travels up here. It irritates what we call the occipital nerves, the occipit part of the head. And it comes right up here and it causes that nerve to be irritated. And that's why you get it. Now, if you happen to get headaches from neck, cervicogenic headaches, and now all of a sudden you're also a migraineur, that will make the migraines worse. Why? Because it's setting off nerve irritation, which just sends a feedback to the brain, and the brain says, I'm inflamed. Now when I'm inflamed, I get a migraine. Same with people who have TMJ. Those muscles are right here. So it's both the masseter muscles and the temporalis muscles. And these muscles are typical because these muscles will then contract and expand the blood vessels, and they'll irritate the nerve, and again, sets off a migraine. Same with the sinusitis. If you have a sinus infection, whether chronically or acutely, it irritates the nerves around here, and that again sends a feedback to the brain and can provoke a migraine. So it can be multiple things. Like I said, medications. Read potential side effects of the medications. Some of them could do it. Even your cholesterol pill sometimes can cause dizziness and headaches. So you have to be aware of it. The other important thing is when you get a severe pain and the pain level is 4 or greater, meaning 0 is no pain and 10 is labor and delivery pain, if it's 4 or greater, your blood pressure can go up. Conversely, sorry, we have trouble with the video. Oh, God. Okay, yeah. Modern technology. Let's see.